Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video, back here to do my 7-day review of my Honda Civic SportBack. Yes, that's what I'm essentially naming it. It's a SportBack. It's the hatchback sport trim level of the Honda Civic and all of its beauty right there. So we're gonna get into my general likes and dislikes, things I've noticed after a week. What are some things that really kind of stand out? And I think every Tuesday what I'm gonna do is do something like uber specific. So right now it's just like a general impressions and review. Next Tuesday would be like all my top dislikes. Then the Tuesday after that, all my likes. And then the Tuesday after that, something else new, right? So I'm gonna try to keep it as, various as possible, highlighting things about the vehicle, including things that I will be doing to her over the course of time. Modding her, not that much, but just enough to really give her own edge and her own flavor. So let's get into it, and we're gonna start on the outside. And as you guys can see on the outside, I got that pearl, that platinum white pearl, just beautiful. I think it's called Fleck. So when you get close, and you'll probably be able to see it a little better when it's not as bright maybe, but the fleck within the paint gives it that super boost shine, and that's something that really intrigued me about this color. Now at Hughes Honda here in Warner Robins / Bonaire, Georgia, that was the only color that they had because this was the only Civic they had on site. I wasn't too far from there, and I saw they had a used Civic. I think it was a 2022 to 2024 model, so an 11 Gen model Civic, and it was a sedan, and it looks good, I'm not gonna lie, but I really like this sportback look. I like this hatchback look. I like that extension in the back. The profile of the car is very, very clean, and when you look at it as is, you really don't have to do that much to it. I really like Honda's impression of their own vehicles, and the Accord also has a very nice, beautiful look. And in reference to my Dodge Dart that I used to have, even though I love my Dart, I really like the profile on this. Something I also just noticed is that the side skirt down here is like a grayish color, and this is the stock skirt. So I will be changing out the skirt over time to something a little different. I believe Yofer is a widely known brand for side skirts, bumpers, front bumpers, and back diffusers or rear diffusers. So that's something I'll definitely be looking into as well. Those are things that I'll be looking to do over the course of time. I finally put my first tank of gas in. I still had like 100 miles to go, or like 3 notches on the dash in terms of how much gas I had left. This could have went another probably 2-3 days, maybe 4 days before I actually would have put gas in it. All I've been doing is city driving. I've been on the highway once, which was to a location and back. Have not been on the highway otherwise, and I plan on doing that here as I continue to break in the motor. With Honda Civics, Hondas in general, it takes about 600 miles before the engine breaks in, and that's for like the piston rings to seal and set properly and all that. So aggressive acceleration, aggressive driving is not the best thing to do in its infancy stages of driving the vehicle, being in operation. So that's why I've been taking my time driving her around. I've been driving in econ mode for the first 100 miles, which I already detailed in my last couple videos. And in this video, we are now crossed 200 miles. Funny enough, I gotta do some major driving to like Atlanta and back later on. And so that's gonna be a couple 100 miles that I end up putting on her. So she'll probably cross 600 by the end of this week, easy. And then I'm gonna start driving her in sport mode. And I've been just in econ and normal. Right now I've been doing way more normal driving. I've been trying to get some comparative kind of MPGs between econ and normal, and I think I need to switch back to drive the econ to get more driving miles out of her. But just in terms of the exterior, look at that profile. I mean, that's a picture right there. It's so beautifully clean. She's on right now, as you guys can see by the headlights. The LED headlights I love. I'm like, my Darts were decent, they weren't LED. These are crazy bright, and I love the auto high beam feature. These have faux fog lamps that can be swapped out for real fog lights that I could find aftermarket easily. And then I also found some fog lights that are LED that's for this portion of the bottom bumper that I actually might look to get, along with extending that front bumper a little bit with the lip. So profile wise, she's ready to go already. I love the black 18-inch rims. I love the black side mirrors. What I may do custom is get black doorknobs just to continue that black feel. And I actually ran into a guy on YouTube. His name was Naus. I think Nos is how you pronounce it. And he found the stock Hatchback spoiler that they sell in Europe, and you can actually have it imported and buy it for like $600. So I plan on doing that, and I may actually install it myself. It just takes a total of 4. I have to drill in, but it takes like 2 holes here, 2 holes here, and it's also got adhesive, and it's got little like clamps that it solidifies, and it goes right along with the groove of the profile of the car, the accenting the aerodynamics of the vehicle, and it fits right on the back of the trunk there. That's something I plan on getting. That will complete the spoiler look for my car. I'm not getting aggressive with that. I love the lights, how they're detailed in black, outlining to make it still feel aggressive, but yet still very subtle. So that's the outside of the car. I love the outside of this car. It is absolutely beautiful. Now let's jump into the vehicle. And by the way, guys, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you notice my videos. It's all free, so that way you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. If you've watched several of my videos and you haven't subscribed yet, why not just hit the subscribe button now? Because clearly I'm bringing you back, and I appreciate you coming to watch. I have plenty on this channel, ranging from mostly tech items such as phones and simple tech, knowing how to operate stuff, and then I'm bringing my car on a Tuesday on a weekly basis / milestone coverage to this channel. So I would definitely appreciate the support, and shout out to 7 Brew on this business trip here to keep me awake. So now let's get back to the video. In terms of the inside, I do wish that this was maybe black. I wish I mean, it's black, you get what I'm saying, but I just wish this was a little more detailed. It's fine, and knowing that this could have been accent lighting on the sport touring model, it's things like that where you wish, like, man, for the price that we're charging for these Civics now, some of that really could have trickled down to the sport model and not all held back to the sport touring, especially when you consider like the lack of a sunroof. No sunroof in here, no moonroof even. Like, at least have a moonroof, but don't have that. I wish here, as you guys can see, it's already kind of starting to get a little elbow dirt, elbow scruff. I wish this was leather, right? This would have been nice to be leather. Would have been nice to have these automatic along with the top two. We're in 2024, and we consider vehicles that offered this at lower trims back in 2016. Not saying my Dart did, because it did not, but I'm just saying there were vehicles like the Volkswagen Jetta that offered all automatic up and down windows and a sunroof for a cheaper price. Honda, I definitely appreciate the physical aesthetics on the outside, but on the interior, sometimes it just feels very dry in here. And so that's the door panel. You got 8 speakers. Got to clean the door off a little bit. I think there's a kicker like protector I could put here as well. The speakers are decent. I actually don't mind the speakers. I think it took a little bit for them to also kind of settle in and start being used. I felt like I was hearing a little rattle in this pillar here, in this A pillar, but I think it went away. Maybe it was song dependent as well. But speaker wise, they're actually pretty decent. I'm not mad at them. You get 8 speakers in here, which is nice. The LX model, which is the model before the Sport, basically the base trim, comes with 6 speakers. So the fact that you get 8 in the Sport is nice, but you also still keep the same 8 in the EXL model, and then in the Sport Touring you get 10, and then that's when you get upgraded to the Bose speakers. But these are pretty good for what you get. If I want to, I don't think it's hard to swap these out for my own speakers like JBL or something like that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. We'll see in time. But in terms of the speakers, they're pretty good. In terms of what we got going on here, a lot of empty spots. I think the biggest thing you're gonna hear me gripe about throughout having this vehicle is the lack of a trunk button. And I also just found out, if I could go ahead and reach in my pocket to grab these real quick, this button right here, this button is not a trunk opener, it's a trunk unlocker. And I actually found that out watching a Acura video. So if I press it, and it's not really working while the vehicle's on, but it's a trunk unlocker, which is crazy. So even on an Acura Integra Type S, because I started watching those videos just to kind of compare what we got going on here, the Acura also does not have a trunk popper. There's no button here either to open the trunk. That's insane in 2024. You get traction off, you get your security features, your Honda Sensing, which displays up here once you press it. Well, I gotta dismiss that now that it shows, yeah. So that shows your menu there, but that's not cool at all. I don't know why they don't include a trunk popper on your key fob or in the car. So that's definitely a big gripe that I have on the inside. I love the vents in here. The vents are spectacular, but the problem is, shout out to Pataka for sending me out the upgraded car mount. Those hooks may not actually hook into these because it's not deep enough. These are definitely vent specific, and because I don't really have vents, I have grills now, I can't even use these. Now I'm looking deep inside there. It might work, but yeah, it's not. We can try here as I continue to talk and see if we can install this Pataka car mount. All right, let's see if we can get this to hook up. Upon opening it, so you get your wire holder right here. If you want to keep things clean, you get your wire holder right here. The packaging is different than the original packaging. You get two of these as well. You get two wire holders, so that's good to know. Let's put these somewhere where we won't lose them. And you can connect them with 3M tape from the back. So you take that off and put it in the spot where you want to keep it. You won't have no problems. This is the connector right here. Now this short throw may actually work. You guys can see there, that short throw may work. So before we even put the charger on, let's see if it'll work. So this will not work in here because these grooves are too sharp. The only thing I can think of is if I actually tried to pry these loose, and that's if they fit within the honeycomb, because it feels like they might be just a tad too wide. Yeah, they're just a tad too wide to actually fit in the grill in the first place. So unfortunately, if you have a Honda Civic, especially an 11th gen, I don't know what the 10th gens look like, but I think they're relatively similar. The 11th gen Civics, you will not be able to use this car mount for that, unfortunately. If you actually want to get an idea of what it looked like, this is what it looks like right here. Hopefully it's focusing well. There we go. This is what it looks like. Your NFC button right there. You have 3 different options to select from. All you gotta do is tap the NFC part with your phone, and then you can auto start an app of your choice or a function or activity of your choice. And you can do maps, you can do music, whatever you want to do. Something ideal for the car is what I would recommend, of course. But it's very beautiful, very nice. Just won't be able to connect in this car. That's one of the things I'm gonna miss. I love the radio, but I just have no car mount. And so that's one of the things that I find to be very unfortunate. So I love the knobs, very premium feeling in here. I have it on auto right now, but these are very tactile, very, very premium feeling. And so is the steering wheel for the most part. I like what the horn looks like. I like the chrome Honda badge. I like the buttons. They're not hard to really understand once you do some research in the manual. So I like that stuff in this car. And I like the lane keep assist that I have on right now. I really enjoy that aspect of this car. To me, these seats, I like this kind of cloth / leather dichotomy here. I like the feeling of these seats. These seats are very comfortable. I haven't had any issues with them. They feel like they hold me comfortably as well. I haven't really driven crazy, of course, but as I will start driving a little bit more aggressive, I'll be able to notice that. I also like, if my blur kicks in here, I love the pedals. The sport pedals are just immaculate in here. I love it a lot. And I also, surprisingly, I really love the small little throw on this gear shifter. I love this here. This selector knob is very, very impressive. Feels really good. I like holding it. I might swap this out for a different color, especially if it's a screw off, because I just really like the feel of this. And notice there might be some scratches here. I gotta give me a microfiber cloth to clean this up, but again, it's just these little things that I really like and adore about this vehicle, but it also has its trade-offs. Like up here, there's no sunglass holder, so my sunglasses have to sit down here in this small cubby space. You guys can see right here. Of course, I got to leave my wire out and exposed because of wireless CarPlay or wired CarPlay. It does not have wireless CarPlay. Another gripe I will continue to have. Funny enough, though, Honda is planning on doing upgrades or updates for Honda Accords, CR-Vs, and Odysseys to upgrade their radio unit from wired CarPlay to wireless. But for whatever reason, they're not including the Civic yet. That's a problem I have right now. And again, this is some things you're gonna have to live with. You can buy, third-party units to turn your wired CarPlay into wireless CarPlay. And of course, when I'm talking about CarPlay, that also includes Android Auto. But outside of that, it is what it is. The radio works fine. I mean, it's instantaneous because it's wired, so I don't have no issues. In terms of some of the other features that I like the rear seat reminder. So if I throw some in the back seat, as I've shown in previous videos, when you turn the car off, it'll give you a notification on the screen saying to check the rear seat. So I like that rear seat reminder. I like that. Some of the things I don't like, though, is if you go in the settings here and you scroll in the vehicle settings, you don't have any options in here. You have all these interesting options, but you do not have the option to turn off auto idle stop. This is a feature that I would like turned off permanently. I would like to turn it on if I had to, or if it was only capable of using this in econ mode. Now, I believe in sport mode, it does not turn on like that as often. So once I break the engine in, I'll be driving in sport mode a whole lot more often. But I would love a feature in the settings to just turn this off and not have to rely on the button. That way, when I cut the car on, I don't always have to remember to click this on and off. I love the e-brake. Surprisingly, I got used to it, and I trust it because I feel it kick in. I've been sitting on a hill a couple times. I turn this on, I pull it up to turn on, turns on just fine. I think there's a technique to get this to automatically turn off. I haven't figured it out yet. I'll probably check the manual again to see if I can solve that. I love brake hold, especially when I'm in a drive-through. Beautiful, beautiful feature. I also realize sometimes I don't like to use it because I like to roll off the line, and brake hold keeps your car still. So you have your trade-offs with that as well. But in drive-through, sometimes in stop-and-go traffic, this is a great feature to have because you're not really worried about rolling when you're in stop-and-go. So this brake hold feature will always still be my favorite. I will link my previous video on the Pataka car mount, and it's going to be the same exact setup. This just now has Qi 2 wireless charging, which achieves the maximum 15 watts fast charging on iPhones. So that's the only difference between this one and the previous one. The previous video I did will still highlight how to hook it up, how to do the NFC features and all that. Just know that the Qi 2 has better charging. And that's my 7-day review of the Civic. I didn't even show you guys everything, of course, because there's a trunk that I could show you guys. And the trunk still relatively looks the exact same, so if we want, we can get back there and look at it. But outside of that, still haven't used the paddle shifters yet because I haven't been driving in sport. But I love this car overall. But with everything that you love, sometimes there's some things you have to work with, some things you have to compromise on, some things you just generally don't like. And with vehicles, some of those things you can circumvent by doing swap outs and modifications, and other things you just end up having to live with, and then, get your time in with the vehicle and then maybe turn it in way down the line to get something that you more or less like, or maybe in another 10 years. A lot of these features I highlighted are very basic for everyone. That'll be the next thing to actually have to pay attention to. So let's go check out the trunk real quick. Yeah. Ooh, it's nice out here, nice and warm. Look at them beautiful tires. I leave my little shade piece up so you guys can't see what's in the trunk. I love the fact that they added that. And here in the trunk, got my hard hat when doing some construction work. Got my jumper cables, if I'm ever in need of gas. And then my toolbox, blanket. I gotta get some tools if I want to start doing my modifications, such as pliers, a socket set, and maybe some magnetic tools to catch bits and nails and screws and whatnot. But my trunk is still very clean. I do want to get a trunk mat in back here. I think Last Fits is a good company. Shout out to I think his name is Justin Miller or Jason Miller. 717 project. I've been following him now, watching him do a lot of work on his 10th and 11th Gen Civics, and I've been very inspired to do certain things because it's not necessarily hard to do it on your own. You just got to have confidence to work on your own vehicle. So that's something that I'll be looking forward to when it comes to my Honda Civic. And that is it for this video. If you guys have any questions, thoughts, advice, tips, and tricks, let me know down in the comment section below. And again, as always, you guys haven't already, make sure to like the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. There are some videos, it's all free. So that way you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. It's man Micah signing out to the next video. Wait for it.